And we are back for yet another, what probably will be, world building episode of House of the Dragons. Last week, a little on the slow side, but overall, paid off in a big way. How will this week fare? And we have some speculation going in to this week's episode. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, Brent here back with Geek Variants, cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. This time here for House of the Dragons, episode 6. Welcome back, Ain't Ron. Happy to see you here for another exciting episode. Your boy is here. So, Team House Cole and all the hate that they have for him is here in mass numbers. Antonio, welcome back to yet another live chat. You are quickly racking up them watch time hours with us. Pleasure having you as always. How are we feeling about this week's episode, Will?
I really just need to know what is going to happen with Heron Hall right now. Like, it just seems it's in limbo right now and it's really bugging me. So I need to know what's going to happen. I need to know how it's going to how it's going to get set up. So that's the main thing that got for me. As far as the King, was it King Regent King, whatever, like
Amon.
that. Yeah, like that's the title, right? King Regent, like
Yes.
something. Just
He's
I
a
think that.
fill-in.
Yeah, I think he's gonna just go in on something. Like he's prepared and he's just gonna attack. So I'm pretty sure he's going at Damon at some point in time, like with the next episode or two. So
Oh, that would be a magical moment indeed. And if those of you who have read the books, don't fill them in. Let's keep them busy in the meantime with other crazy theories and speculations that we have. Because always, whenever you give Will a piece of red string, he'll chase that son of a gun to the end, and then he'll have created 3 new theories by the time he reaches the end. Most of which are usually better than the initial theory that was proposed at the time. Because if you remember, he was the one who called Butcher's change very, very early on when our boys covered. So that was phenomenal call out. Well done as always. And yeah, as Aaron said, King Regent, Agent Regent Amon, the one, the only, and honestly, the one who should have gotten the job in the first place. Because let's just be frank here, Aegon, not really fit for the job. You were the firstborn. Congratulations. Apparently, coming out first qualifies you for jobs now. But again, we also saw last week that Allison, who was technically the most qualified to do the job as she's been doing it for like ever, still gets passed over by the people who are, well, spending night and day trying to get to know her in a more intimate sense. And yeah, most of these people are teenagers at best. So everyone is quite young, but at the same time, once you got that Targaryen blood in you, ruling is going to be of some level of certainty at any moment in time because who in the world is going to stop these dragons? It's kind of like you're just a bystander at Rook's Rest. If you don't have a dragon, you're just in for a really, really bad day. And you're just like, wherever the dragons are, I'm going the opposite direction. I don't want any of that smoke, literally, because then I will just be ashes, dust, nothing fun, and just be, an unmarked grave out there by Rook's Rest. So not really worth it at any moment in time. How did we feel about Allison trying to assert herself to be queen once more? Do you think they passed her over unjustly, or she got what was due to her?
I mean, she's not paying. She caused all this by not wanting, to have not wanting her to have her rights. She wanted her son to have the right to be king because she thought that, Viserys changed his mind and she didn't look into anything. She didn't consult with her friend at all about any of the stuff, like nothing. She just immediately took it at face value without knowing any of the history. Because again, she's married in. She doesn't know the history, the lore, or whatever that's behind that family. So instead of talking to her best friend, who was part of this, she didn't. And she just took it because, again, she wanted to rise to power. She wanted to help do all that kind of stuff. She wanted to be in that process. So now when she tries to assert herself and take over, again, you built all this stuff up, and all these people who are hating of a queen being in charge. Then you trying to put yourself on that pedestal because your son is freaking unable to continue with that. You set yourself up for failure immediately. Like, she got everything that was coming to her. Again, I really hope that she does not make it through this season, to be honest.
Yeah, because I mean, literally and figuratively, as Aaron's pointing out in the chat, the only reason she even had any claim to anything is her dad literally married her in, and then he was the hand of the king. So it's like whenever we were going to have to deal with that moment in time that we're going to have to decide next of lineage, even though, you know, Rhaenyra's dad was very upfront who he wanted to be in charge when he was gone. He said it 3 or 4 times. He didn't like assert it. Like, he didn't be like, look, anyone who disputes this, behead immediately. Because, like, he needed to come across a little bit stronger because, honestly, you should have suspected that Otto was more of a snake than what he was, but he never really got the jump on it. He was always too close into the trenches, so to speak. He couldn't really see who was on his side and what the heck was going on. All he knew was that there was claims to the throne flying over his head. Then he was dealing with his health problems. Then he was trying to figure out, hey, Rhaenyra, can you please marry somebody? Anybody. Just it'll help legitimize you. It'll make you better. And then she decides, have her little fling with your favorite character, Westeros's greatest boy toy queen chaser himself, Christian Cole. And, well, things continue to spiral out of control until eventually she ends up in the arms of her uncle, who, like you alluded to, hanging out at Harrenhal. It's like, that is a place that you just say the word Harrenhal to most book readers, they're like, yep, I'm out on that. There's nothing about Harrenhal that says warmth. There's nothing about that says cuddliness. There's nothing about that says home. It just usually spells out disaster and just chaos for everyone involved. It's like, he did a lot of what he could, Aaron, but at the same time, I don't think he did enough. It had to be in writing. It had to be like in blood. And it was like, look, if anyone challenges this, I don't care who it is. We need to have them completely removed. Because look, House Targaryen, if we're being completely frank here, they're the crazy members of your family. Just imagine the craziest people that you got within your bloodline. Imagine them running the show and having all the power, and you're just kind of a bystander. If you have any sense of urgency, you want to make sure to kind of push them off to the side so you can assert your spot. Westeros is basically just a Targaryen playground because when dragons are involved, how in the world are we supposed to check in and stop them? Because Will said he'd fight them, but at the same time,
I said I would fight them.
like, how? That's the same moment in time as like, I can fight the person, but if you're telling me I have to go up in Vagar and be like, all right, go handle business, I'll be like, sure. This is a mismatch of epic proportions. I don't really stand a chance. I am Kite Man. That is Superman. It's going to be really, really quick. And it's
Hey,
like,
man,
we're
get
not
off Kite Man.
Superman. We're talking like Injustice Superman, where it's like, I'm getting things done. Get out of my way. I got stuff to do. But at this moment in time, my only bold prediction I have, like going into this episode, I think Aegon is going to wake up. I believe there were a couple stills released of him at least sitting up. So we're going to get that reaction that you were looking for last week. Is like, eventually, everything the Regent has done is going to come home to roost.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have that moment in time where the two brothers are looking each other dead in the eyes and they have to handle their business the best they can. How do you think that is going to play on out?
I think Aemon is going to taunt him and more or less kind of like get back for what happened in the little brothel thing. Aegon's not going to do anything to fight it, and he's going to kind of sit there and take it. He's going to probably throw a temper tantrum at some point if he's physically able to throw a temper tantrum, and it's going to be funny. So I'm just hoping that Aemon just has to wallow and suffer and cry about it because Aegon has to wallow and suffer and cry about it because he deserves it. Again, he treated everybody like his plaything. He's doing whatever he wants. He's not paying attention to the cues around him. He's got his little friends being his guard, and they suck at it. Like, what are you doing? Like, he's far more immature, being king than Amon is. So Amon is going to be a better choice in this aspect for, again, fighting a war. Just makes sense. So he just needs to step down and step aside at this point.
Yeah, because Aegon is showing basically like you put me into like a wartime situation. I'm a civilian. I don't know Jack. I can say I know video games and fantasy lore. Knowing stuff like that and then actually doing something wouldn't make sense. It would be like, actually, in retrospect, it'd be like you as king and then you deciding to make me your bodyguard. No offense, I am 5'9", civilian, untrained, no martial arts, nothing. What in the world am I supposed to do to protect you? It's just a bad situation. I understand everyone's boys with Aegon, but like at a certain day, hey, you can be my boy over there, somewhere unimportant, not messing up the kingdom, causing all these calamities to ensue, causing, my son to pass away because I put my boys in certain positions. And then the guy I trusted the most was in bed with my mom at that time. So it's like, maybe there should have been a little foresight. There should have been some kind of anticipation. There should have been somebody with a stronger hand to kind of reel him in. I understand having a puppet king can be fun if you're someone like Otto. At the same moment in time, I need someone who's going to get the job done. I can't just keep leaving these things to chance because, well, Rhaenyra and Daemon are on the other side. How do you think Daemon's ultimately going to come out of Harrenhal, or what his mental state will be because of Harrenhal?
He's definitely going to be. His head's filling up more and more. I mean, he's already full of himself, but the fact is, he's like addressing me as king, this kind of stuff, and he's taking on matters of the crown himself within that area because, again, he's asserting himself to be king. I don't know if it's going to have any backlash for House Black. I don't know how Rhaenyra is going to deal with it. Like, I don't know what I don't know where his head is at, and that's a dangerous place to be. Whether you're around it or you're that person himself and stuff, and he's dealing with all the mental stuff. Again, it's completely up in the air as far as what he's going to do for people like me who haven't read the books. So I'm just kind of like, this can go either way. Let's kind of wait and see at this point.
And then, like, Aaron made a good point in the chat. He's the one who caused all the issues in the Riverland. Is like everything backfired ultimately upon him because, like, the Riverlands not only was just like, yeah, we don't like what you're doing. They literally woke him up at the hour that they deemed to do so, got him out of bed, told him their ish, all their business, all the bad blood. They spilled that tea, and then straight up was like, I'm tired of you doing what you think you want. We're not metaphorically or literally laying down for you. We are not about that. This isn't how things are going to get done. You can continue to be as heinous and cruel as you want to be. We aren't here for it. We have so many other things going on. You just ain't it, Chief. I don't want to be a part of this, and continue to throw whatever temper tantrum you want. They literally walked out on a guy who has a actual dragon, and nothing happened. Daemon was so messed up that he literally could not physically act. So it's like, welcome in, C-Rod. Welcome back. Welcome back on.
They fought back against somebody with a dragon. There's other ways to do it. You don't have to go head on at the thing.
And then Aaron is absolutely correct. The episode is up. I'll get all of our timestamps linked here shortly. By Mac and Prime Video in certain countries, your place to stream all this amazing content. I will watch the opening, so I'll give everyone some time to get caught up.
You're
because
opening.
I'm not going to skip something as epic as the opening for Game of Thrones. Let me know once you get past the opening what the minute marker is on that so we can relay that information in chat.
Bet.
And then while I'm staring at the intro, once again, guys, thank you so much for helping us hit over 1,000 subscribers. We'll have more details on that giveaway here shortly. I've got everything on my end squared away. I just need to confirm a few things with the boys. And then we will get everything all squared up with you guys in a community post. So you guys, if you want to partake, you can feel free and do so at that moment in time. So a huge thank you from me to you, the viewers. It's all thanks to you guys. We're at where we are. Appreciate y'all. It's been a wild 2.5 years, Will.
It really has, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. So we appreciate everybody. And again, this is just having fun, and I'm going to be doing this for a while if I can keep going. So okay, all right. I look like I'm around minute marker.
We might be rating on C Rod what it looks like because he's still waiting for the episode to hop on up for our usual group.
I'm at 5 minutes roughly. Yeah, like.
But again, this episode looks like we're gonna get content all the way till about an hour and 10 minutes in. So buckle up, folks. It's gonna be a wild ride in Westeros. You said about 5 minutes?
Yeah, it was the recap, the intro.
Yeah, 4:55 is what I got.
Yeah.
4:55. Episode 6 is up. 4:55 for our sync time, folks. 4 minutes, 55 seconds. Waiting on one more person to join on up, and that will be C-Rod. Let us know how you're doing over there. Hopefully it pops up for you here shortly, or if you want us to continue on and you kind of catch up. Entirely your prerogative. I'm happy to help and wait up. The recap is starting, so C-Rod will be catching up. I can wait. This is going to be a doozy of an episode. I think you guys will also like the stuff that we have for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So thanks again for everyone who has hit that lovely red subscribe button or the follow button on Twitch, because I know our Twitch community is getting more and more active and they are getting loud. They were quite talkative during the My Hero Academia live stream, which if you're caught up, you know, doozy of an episode. This one, I think we're going to get a lot more pieces put into place, and then we'll finally figure out what everyone's plans are. C-Rod, just hit us up in chat when you're at the, 4:55 mark. And we'll hit play and have a great time watching yet another exciting episode of House of the Dragons. Are you playing with your Magic the Gathering cards over there?
Yeah, I'm moving them all out the way because they were on my desk.
Once you start a new hobby with involving cards, just takes over.
Oh, it's a money sink for sure. It's a money sink for sure. But again, I'm learning because a friend of mine wanted me to learn and play with, so I figured I'd give it a shot and see.
Yu-Gi-Oh still has my heart. Eventually, I'll come around and figure out what Magic the Gathering has.
I mean, I played Pokemon for a while years ago. 98.
C-Rod is ready. Are
All
we
right.
all ready to hit play?
Let's do it.
In 3, 2, 1, let's go. House of the Dragon, episode 6, baby. Those look like the Lannisters. Yep, that is the Lannister gold. Is this our first look at Castle de Rock? In a long, long time. Or are they attacking a castle for somebody? So it's only like Lannisters on top of it. Nope. He keeps an actual lion in a cage. You're summoning the king by yourself personally.
We are not prepared to receive 1,000 soldiers
Plus
and
a lion.
freaking sets of lions. Like,
why would we even keep the lions? I understand that's a weird flex, but yep. He's like it. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. It looked a lot of like.
hmm.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Amon does not listen to anybody.
Nope.
Because if they take out Corliss, it's free for all. Yeah, I'm with Aaron. Send her away. Just go marry. Hmm. Hmm. They're setting up for the big battle.
Mm-hmm.
What if they'll get to it this season? Because we got 2 more episodes after this. I love how he literally is splitting up his mom and her little boy toy. Just you go here, you go there.
A word, whatever.
He's gonna talk about the bird. The bird is the bird. Well, resting. Calculating his piece as well.
Yeah, this is. You got to go. Mm.
He's like, you can go hang out with Cole for all I care. I
Yeah,
promise
like,
time for this.
go.
Welcome in, Collabitude. Welcome in. We're watching the episode off screen with no audio. You follow all copyright laws. Feel free and hang out with chat as we watch the episode 6 of House of the Dragons. Everyone's watching along on their own devices. I am 100% Team Amon right now.
Peace out.
And he's like, thanks for your service. Go away. He's playing his pieces beautifully.
He accepted.
Good for Corliss, because he's exactly what we need right now.
Or is he still thinking it out?
And no, we're not sharing any links in chat. Just so we're clear. No links. Oh, he's going to put this council directly into their place. Because no one is going to talk back to a man for some reason.
Yeah, it's good he accepted, especially with just talking about the triarchy going to break the blockade and stuff.
All of a sudden, everyone's acting polite and proper, well-mannered. It's like bringing in like the Marine officer after everyone's been just kind of dicking off for a bit. Like, oh, just kidding. We're good. Oh, hello. Absolutely correct, Antonio. Great call out. She wasn't much of a mom anyway. I'm a Rainier here. Wherever they're at.
It does remain to be seen.
And then her son's out there hanging out with the twins. Dragons do choose the thing. It's a hell of a promotion. Just go ahead and try it, I guess. Sir, you keep talking about all this stuff way too often. Hey, man with manners. You like that. Yeah, losing a gold cloak right now is not good.
Oh yeah. This
Wow.
embarrassing.
This dude's got straight doing it.
He's a Darkland.
Yep. There is some history. Will it be enough? Because blood is quite important in this. And now we're back to good old Damon. What kind of shenanigans are we going to get involved in today? Is he going to go back to that magic tree and kind of screw this all up? It's like taming a dragon, not really easy. Nope, he's dreaming again. Oh, great. I'm happy we're having him back. He did such a great job last season. Nope. This is well deserved. Give him the business. He has to relive this. It's like if these two just got along, things would have been so different.
Man.
It's like he truly loved his brother, even though he knew his brother was physically weak. Mentally, his brother could run circles around him, though. And this is supposed to be him realizing he's mentally locked himself in this moment. Because his desires have gone too deep. Then everyone else is like, dude, why do you keep tripping balls in this castle? Figure it out. Mm. Nope. Hey. Damon.
Calm yourself. Calm yourself.
Behave, sir. Ow. He's having a full mental breakdown. Because he's giving straight tweaker vibes.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to describe it. It's like Kratos in God of War also had these moments where he would just like lose himself in a moment. But he was never this far gone. Stop watching me. So what you need to do is go find Alice and be like, whatever you're giving me, stop.
Yeah, boy.
I'm out of here. There we go. Grab your bag, grab your dragon. I've got other things to do. Oh, and she's just hanging out waiting for him. Yeah. Oh. Damon. This castle is straight up cursed.
Mm. What is her name?
Alice.
How's her?
Alice Rivas. Some are comparing her to the new Nettles, but there's no confirmation we have not gotten Nettles either. Yeah, Antonio, that's a fair point. He was totally fine with betting his mom, but seeing his brother chastising him was just too much. It broke him. But he needs to keep running because his dragon is straight calling him, be like, dude, let's go. Let's get out of here. You're not a king, but you're a dragon lord still. There's very little this world could do to stop you. Same thing. Council is literally help. Not saying much, apparently. It's like you upset this guy, you're done. Oh, that's cool. That's a pretty bird. Because you are literally like a stone throw away from leaving that far. And he just got pulled back in. Because you need help, but you don't need her help. You need to go back to your family.
I'm sleeping outside.
I will sleep in the rain. I don't care anymore. I would have slept in the rain to begin with, though, but that's because I don't mess around with anything paranormal. No, thank you. All capital letters. I have no beef with people. But now they're summoning the dragon, and we're going to see how this goes. Because there will be new Dragon Riders made this season.
We're all the ones that needed. It was Sea Smoke, Vermithor. What was the other one? Wasn't there one
There's
more?
another dragon that's known as the Cannibal, but I don't know if that's the one they're talking about here. I don't know if that one ever gets a rider.
Yeah, they have 3 there. I think they said that need riders.
Yeah. It's Vermithor, Sea Smoke, and then I can't remember the other one. Someone in the chat, much smarter than me, will remember. It's like this show in naming, nothing is super easy to remember.
I remember
everyone's either named on or like, then everything's confusing from there.
Yeah, I remember faces and stuff. It's trying to remember all the names, or I'll constantly mess up the names what they're trying to remember. Like Amon and Damon, I'll confuse them once or twice more just because of.
Also, he's showing fear right now, and that's not what we should be doing. Yeah, the worst job in the world. Dragon Tamer. Oh, you're pretty. But you're not who we should be doing. He's like, I'm going to tame that thing? And he's like, are you sure? Oh, Sea Smoke. Hello. How are you? Sea Smoke is not pleased at this moment. He already drew his sword. It is too late.
He didn't draw it.
Mentally. It's
it. So, yeah, that is.
All right. She's like, is this going good? Is this going bad? It's like for Targaryens, this is just like an average day. Because we remember how small Aemon was when he made it work. Offering the neck, time to go for a ride. Like, come on. It's like, I don't know how much more I can offer this. But again, this could also just be a trap for you've disrespected me. I'm not playing your crap. Moving on from here. Things are definitely going to get interesting, Antonio, if you've read the books. We're getting into the very fun part of the war.
No, you're too hesitant. Like,
you need to be walking like you own this place. Respectfully. But you own this joint.
Goodbye, sister. I don't think you're gonna survive this. I think it's gonna just turn and snap your head
his
off.
Armor ain't gonna do anything.
It's
just gonna be like, boop. Give him a little pinch. Sea Smoke is the calmer one. If they gave it to Vermithor, he would already be dead.
Nope, you're already claiming it, and you haven't even gotten on.
Yeah. Oh, nope. It's too late. We're down a knight and a worker.
And he already knew.
Yeah, it comes with the job description. And we just lost a faithful follower. That sucks. Yeah, because there's nothing you can do. Nothing can put that out. Sea Smoke with the RKO.
You think the guy who saved him, Alan, could ride a dragon?
I would love to find out. Because that is, for all intents and purposes, his son. They got the same blood. They're not usually always amazing with dragons, though, as we saw by his daughters failing, but he could make this work.
Laenor back would be freaking amazing. Yeah.
So it's in order.
I think that's probably why freaking Sea Smoke denied, because Laenor didn't die. He left, right? So,
and there we go. Now we're getting back to the people who can make the job work. You live on the water. What do you expect? There she is. Who can say, Aaron? Who can say? They kind of skirted her off rather quick. Rightfully so, because of Aegon's boorish behavior. I can't remember who she is or who she's working for. So those earrings are a little too nice to be hanging out in a bar like this.
No.
You got people literally sleeping on the table. When you paid for that, you might as well eat that. I guess. Can someone slap this guy?
I
Doing a
know.
lot of prattling. Because she is like just silently seething right now. There we go.
Yeah.
He's like, I will literally have my dragon eat you if you do not shut up. Please and thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is going to put a man in his place quicker than a
both
woman? Like
needed that.
hand?
They both needed that.
She remembered who she is, and he remembered, oh yeah, I am literally beneath you. Why am I talking and presuming like I am something? Like literally, if men in Westeros would just fall in line like they should with these dragon queens, things would be working out so much easier for everybody. Good for Rhaenyra, though. You just don't tell them. It's a little bit of information. It's not a lie. You just withheld certain pieces of information. Oh yeah, they're playing the war beautifully, C-Rod. If you turn the people who are trapped in the keep on the keep holders, things work. You just got to poison the water verbally because they're already poisoning the water literally. So we're doing things the right way. Because Amon don't care about the small folk. He doesn't notice this. It's the only fault he has. Well, other than only having one eye, but clearly he's made the most of making that work. Yeah, Rhaenyra with a sword would be nice, but we can't send her out yet. Times are not desperate enough. It's like, hey, look at the little sheepies. That's food. Are they willing to have the moment?
There he goes.
Civil unrest, baby. It can undo any kingdom. In fantasy worlds, just to be specific. Only keeps 2 people on the small council. Mm. Ah. What's the job first?
Go on, Clubfoot. He does not. That's why he suggested.
Oh, wow. He's like, I don't like this, but we'll make this work. Oh, wow. Wow.
Dang.
Your strongest ally and supporter. Just anyway, go get the guy who failed twice in a row.
See, now you see Laros, he was looking. He's about to play his piece towards Aegon. Like Cole freaking did not serve you well.
Yep, that's Aegon. He's alive and well, but okay, I should just say alive. Good old family time. From being a comfortable king, all he had to do was stay in bed.
Yeah.
Stay out of the fights. And this would have never happened.
Yeah, you know what he did to you.
There you go. Good answer. Oh. Yeah, wrong dragon for the job. The only other person needs to be like, hey, how you doing? What a job. Yeah, playing the face correctly. Everyone's hanging out back in the Vale. It's supposed to be symbolic why he gave him the ball. He's supposed to be like, you still in charge, and he remembered his brother enjoys playing with it because he toyed around with his power and, well, messed around with a bigger dragon. There's always a bigger fish, as Star Wars would put it. But in this case, it was literally Melee's, one of the greatest dragons, and the queen who never was.
How foolish were you to mess with it?
Yeah. Everyone needs to leave. That is a burnt area of land. And there's plenty of untamed dragons still. Even a small one is a problem. Look at the little baby dragon.
Oh, was she gonna get on a dragon? She gonna like, screw it, let's ride.
Reyna has tried several times unsuccessfully.
But she hasn't tried those unclaimed dragons.
She tried a couple of them.
Dang. I'll
and
spend
had no
more.
luck. She never tried Vermithor, but again, Vermithor is
Vermithor.
him and Vagar are of a different breed. It's like trying to claim Valyrian, the Black Dread. You just don't unless you're very sure of yourself. It always makes me wonder how Rhaenyra's dad was able to do it, as frail as he is. But he only rode him once, and then Valyrian died shortly afterwards. It will take several years, Antonio, for them to grow. That little baby is probably a couple months, maybe a year. If I'm remembering Game of Thrones correctly, how they showed the size up. That dragon won't be useful by the time we need it. The one that could be flying around the Vale could be the cannibal. Either way, it's a wild dragon, and I'm not playing that game.
His hair is white. That's why he shaves it.
Yep. The line is strong. Either you have white hair or you have that whitish blonde hair. That's it. That's just how you go. Are we really playing that moment right now? Yeah, I mean, he's got a point. Spitting. Corliss may make things verbally right, but again, this has been what? That is a 20-plus-year-old man. If he hasn't claimed you by now, not a lot of hope. Rhaenyra's crying yet again.
Come on, put him on a dragon.
It was the right move, Rainier. It was the right move. You need to remember that. Gossip. I love it. It's true. Just his attitude. They're both in the same boat there. But yeah, the sea snake was a little busy there for a while.
Yeah.
And Jace is spitting right now. He's like, I'm dealing with the same exact thing you are. You're telling me not to do things and being held back. Oh, yep, I'm just kidding. He changed his mind. He's like, who cares what Damon's doing right now? He's like, the gift?
What gift?
We'll say he settled into being a prince rather well. All things considered. Good on you, Jace. But this is why you play the game with spies every time. The people are so hungry, they're literally just going out looking for food.
That's the gift that was sent. Oh,
Food. Because that'll change everybody's feeling about the greens rather quickly. Like one of them is feeding us, one of them is starving us and having lavish parties. Who do you think we should serve in this moment in time? The hand that feeds gets rarely bitten. Unless you're Daemon, in which case you bite anything, because Daemon. I'd be a total villain here and just take the whole boat to myself. But that wouldn't last long.
well played.
I don't know where they got all this food, but it's a great play. I'm going to hit a pause on it. I will be right back.
Yep.
Carry on ahead.
All right, so spending all that food is definitely what's up. Like that sets up for just hold us more. Yeah, definitely hoping. So that's definitely gonna help turn the tide. Let's see. All right, Allison, what's your play now? Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Otto definitely messed that up. That it was like a sign of weakness or something.
I am back. What minute mark are you at?
It must just chatting. 47:20, give or take.
All right, I'll get caught up. I wish Allison was good at something, not anything.
Oh, she's good at freaking, banging people.
I don't really call that a life skill, but it counts.
She's done nothing but literally breed discontent. So many
Everywhere
people.
she's gone. Hmm. He's like, I don't care at all what you want. He's like, I know you
What you
came here
look?
to go see Cole.
Princess Fiona.
Ah, sibling issues. He's like, our dad is kind of a jerk. You couldn't have married the king. So that's something. Yeah, because she said, no choice now for the first time forever.
Mm.
So what 10-year-old wants to write a letter out here? She's like, huh, maybe I should have tried parenting.
Mm.
Yeah, the Red Keep's not what I call great for men looking for power.
Yeah. Yeah.
It corrupts the best and destroys the worst. The quest for power. I think he realizes he's going off to a grave. It's like once you see a dragon in the sky, it's like, how useful am I really? Do we need me? Are we sure? Like, am I going to change the tide of things?
No.
It's like it's cool having a big host behind you, but like, couldn't we have like that guy over there or that dude? Just not me. Cole's waiting for his little goodbye smoochie, but he's not
He
going to get
gets
one.
nothing. He gets nothing.
If I was Allison, I'd be like, here's the bird. Friendly reminder. It's like, we're going to leave on bad terms. Oh, at least you still got Foot Guy. But he's busy summoning your dad back, who I'm sure will be more than pleased at this development.
Oh, she nodded to him. Who cares?
She's like, my daughter's a nutcase. It's a weird time to take an interest in parenting.
You know.
Helena is always good for that, Aaron. It's just a matter of when. Everyone running with food. And just like that, pandemonium. Welcome to WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
But now you need to find your lady and be like, is she safe? Oh, nope, he's getting it for his lady.
Oh, he's carrying the banner.
Because the army was just sent out, so it's like, you're kind of in a bad situation right now. The army is gone. We just have some few men left. And anarchy. And now's a bad time to be out here praying.
You don't try and take food away from a hungry man. That's a problem.
No, I mean the hungry are now going to lash out at the royal family first. And you guys are not where you're supposed to be. Because you need to protect everybody right now. Okay, why are we hitting Helena? We can hit Allison all we want. Helena, we need to not. Oh. Ooh. Yep, now we have created a complete animal. Mob.
Yeah. Yep, you did it now.
Yeah, at least get Helena out of there. She's done nothing wrong this entire time. And to be fair, like I'm gonna do the opposite of what the queen said and just like pull my sword, be like, it's either me or them.
Whatever.
And this is why you have a spy
You
master.
got them hurt. She should look. Everybody's getting hurt. Oh, they're killing them.
And you get a beating. And you get a beating. This is an episode of Oprah mixed with what was his name? Jerry Springer.
You think you're safe in there? Somebody throw some fire.
Right now, there we go. We're just waiting for the cavalry to arrive. Of course, you're checking yourself and not taking a look at Helena. You know, the woman you just put in danger because you decided to be a mom for 5 minutes. Look how that went for you. Because, yeah, those guards aren't making it out of there.
Oh, the fall of House Green is starting to crumble. This is getting good.
Laris.
What's up, Winky?
Laris is scheming. I think he feels sympathy because he's a cripple, and now Aegon is more or less bedridden. The magic is very real here. I don't think he's gonna get up on a dragon who we're not even sure is alive at this moment in time. It's like it was one thing to get Bran to be riding a horse, but a dragon? That's a stretch. Needs to get him to accept the facts. Looks like Laris has picked a side as Team Green falls further into descent. More bad dreams.
I mean, he ain't left. What'd you expect?
Should have slept outside. Gone camping for a bit. Find yourself. Go on a spiritual journey. And that was his wife. I don't even remember if Daemon was there when this happened. Do you?
I don't remember.
He was. Yep, he wasn't there. So this is him trying to atone for it. And bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Prince for a day. Oh. Yep, he's sleeping at the table again.
Emma.
Damn. Yeah, take it as a sign. Leave. Alice can't save that man. How in the world is she supposed to save your butt? She just sending you down the crazy train. Because if you're telling me this bed, the only thing it guarantees is I have to relive my worst moments again and again and again, I'm burning the bed and I'm leaving. I'm going to get mine before I go. Hello, pretty dragon. No. And now it's going to be a problem. It's always 3 days in fantasy, isn't it, Aaron? Always 3 days. It's like, now it's time for you to embrace your heritage and figure it out. Because, like, if that dragon wanted to get you, you'd have already been got. Let's just put that in a clear perspective. She's only looking for you.
Where's Alan? Alan, calm it and claim it.
It's going to be in front of you. Every horror movie, there's always a log somewhere that's not supposed to be. Someone just goes. Duh, 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 duh. My dragon's a little bit faster than that. Yeah. Sea Smoke, how are you?
Oh,
Who's
it
a good
sent out a
girl?
new writer, did it? Is that what it's doing? Is that what it's doing? Come on.
I think Sea Smoke decided to go and find a new friend. But once he cleans up his pants first. Luckily, he's wearing the brown pants. Probably reminds him of Laenor a bit. Because Laenor did just kind of wander off in the sunset and he was able to avoid all of these problems.
They're about to find commonality among Damon once again.
Never let your exes get into a room together. Remember that, folks. It's not good when people compare notes. Keep your business private and on as good terms as possible. Damon, he in trouble. He's still legally married, but let's just say it's not good. Do you remember the name of the brother who just got picked by Sea Smoke?
Off the top of my head, no.
I was gonna say I am blanking hard right now. So, someone in chat want to send the assist? It's like we need a Valerian dragon rider. Adam.
Yeah, Alan and Adam.
Thanks for the assist. Spelled the exact same ADAM?
ADDAM.
At that. Like you just changed the tides of the war while hanging out. So I don't know. That's unfortunate. And heinous. And then you married Daemon, so your life went from bad to bad. She's been. I think they both needed this. Okay, why are we lingering here?
This is something more.
Are we? Like Targaryens are known for this sort of promiscuity. But are we gonna push this envelope? They're pushing this envelope. I think everyone just needs like a moment to kind of make things work. When they like everyone says meet your exes, not what you're supposed to mean.
relationship established a bit more. Cool. Now,
relationship status changed too complicated.
I mean, Damon is to his people, so yeah.
There we go. Everyone just, huh? Excuse me? Pardon me? Corliss is going to be so shocked by this. Antonio, come on. We don't need to talk about her here. We're talking about a good series. We're not talking about Star Wars right now.
Who was that? Who just left?
His mother. To go take a look at things. She's tired of waiting on everybody to tell her what she can and cannot do.
I like that episode for the setup.
I was gonna say starting next episode, they're really gonna have to start putting their foot in it. We're getting to that moment in time. Rhaenyra says, "I am done waiting. I'm going to go do." Fantastic overall. All right, so let's jump right on in, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 6 recap. We are at that lovely moment in time where you guys get our thoughts before the episode recap officially drops. All right, Will, your thoughts on the episode. And chat, feel free and drop yours while Will's talking.
We are setting up for a big fight. Like, we got to be getting every piece in place. So episode 7, we always know the episode right before the finale is always where some big stuff goes down. Like, that's just been the theme of Game of Thrones since the beginning. House of the Dragon has followed suit. So we're going to get some big reveal or death or whatever in this episode, in this next episode. With all the pieces on the board, again, Aemon asserting himself as far as, like, I'm going to continue to run this. House Black turning House Green's citizens against them, planting those seeds of hope on the other side. It's a big thing. Aemon being summoned was not the best thing to do because, again, he's going to do what he wants to do. So that's either come to aid or not. Like, there's so many things that are just setting up. But the biggest was that part of the end with Sea Smoke for me. Like, I do not know what they're going to do next episode, except establish that we have a new writer and maybe let's let the dragons go out and find their writers and bring them back to us.
Yeah, because the dragons can pick their rider just as much as anybody else can. The writers can take certain initiative, as we saw with Aemon and Vhagar, because Vhagar was supposed to be given to one of the Corliss Valerian girls, and then instead, well, Aemon said, to hell with this, I'm going to make my own plans, and I'm going to assert myself as I saw fit. And because he did so, we're in this current situation. Crazy to think about that, the actions of, like, what, a 6-year-old, 8-year-old, somewhere in there, his actions have drastically changed the whole outcome of how things can play out in this potential moment for war. Because if the Greens didn't have Vhagar, things would be entirely differently. Because as we're seeing, House Black is significantly better ran. Their spy masters doing their thing impeccably. We have everyone staying on the same page. They're all trying to work together for the most part. Rhaenyra had a lot of huge moments this episode. Not only did she deliver the slap her around the council, she literally attempted to put Sir Stephen, and for all intents and purposes, I think he did an amicable job. But again, it's rather particular when trying to get someone in a position to be riding a dragon. It's not really a job that everybody is necessarily cut out to do. And then we saw Rhaenyra had a moment of close intimacy with her spy master, which again, Targaryens are known for this sort of thing. It's not really something too much to lean into. It is just an interesting moment to see that because Daemon's gone, she's out here seeking the affection of others. There's not really too much to break down if that. But I do like the fact that she has found herself in this episode and then asserted herself to, rather than sit by and wait for people to counsel me or give me information or to be reactionary. She just goes. She's like, to heck with this. I'm done with everyone and everything else going on. Jace is even hot at her heels, and she still took off and is going to go handle business as she sees fit, trying to go figure out who the heck is on top of Sea Smoke, because that could be a very deciding seat of things going on here. This episode, like you said, C-Rod, simple and to the point. The pieces on the chessboard are slowly being put into place. This season will hinge upon how those pieces play out for us to see. Because if there's not much more action throughout this season, I think we're going to get a lot of people who are very unhappy with the pacing. But if we get that big payoff that Game of Thrones is known for and House of the Dragons is known for, everyone's going to be happy as punch, and there's not going to be much else to say. Because, I mean, you sell us on big dragon fight, and we get not one, but two big dragon fights. I think we're in. We're all very happy. It's just right now we're doing a lot of methodical pacing. There's not really that much to break down with this episode. The Greens are making moves. Team Black is making moves. Right now, Team Black, albeit without a single war victory to be spoken of, has taken the driver's seat amongst King's Landing. So that is definitely interesting to see. I'm still wondering why they showed us the Lannister army, other than they just wanted to show us that, Aemon does not want to be summoned.
Well, I think they're set up because of, again, being the setup to approach on Harrenhal at some point in time. And I think that's possibly what's going to lead the battle for Daemon and Aegon. Like, that's going to be the jumping off point, because he has not left. And she said that things will shift in 3 days time. Again, it's kind of hard to tell the time change in this show. You just have to look and see what's happening during the day, what's happening at night, and kind of keep track of it as best you can. But so whenever 3 days time, I think that's where he's going to kind of have the face off of them two, freaking Aemon versus Daemon. I want to say that would probably make sense for being in the 7th episode, that fight. And if there's going to be a death to be had, having it there. The rebellion is definitely the setup for House Green not having their base, so to speak. Like, again, the castle walls are going to be breached by people wanting to get food and do the discourse. The assassins have planted their seeds. Now you just need people who are going to fight. And however many decide to turn in favor of House Black over House Green, and what that is going to entail as far as the castle is concerned, remains to be seen, because we also have to see what's going to be Aemon's response. Like, is because Aemon don't care. Like, I feel like Aemon go there like, y'all better stop this, or yeah, no, I don't even think he's going to say that. I think he's going to go out there and just burn a couple people. It's like, here's your example. Cut it out.
Aemon is a fantastic tactician. He's fantastic at putting the pieces in place that he needs to, and being able to strategize better than other people so he can take what he wants. He lacks compassion at an almost criminal level. He has no ability to see himself in any other individuals whatsoever, and he will bully those, like you're talking about, into certain moments. Right? If I have a dragon, you don't have a dragon, I just have to make a move. People will kind of take heel, and like feeding the small folk is the smartest move. Whoever was going to be in charge of the throne during this rebellion, I feel like they were fighting this battle as a completely uphill moment. any intents and purposes.
I feel like Amon was somewhat in check a little bit with his consort. And in those moments, he was able to be relaxed, be, you know, relieved, so to speak, in more ways than one. Like he was good. But as soon as that was taken away from him or brandished to the world, so to speak, I think every last little bit of compassion he had, it just went out the window. Like that was the tipping point for him to deal with his brother and everything else that goes on to put himself in a position that he's in now. I think that was it right there. So, like, if you would have just kind of left him be to his own devices, I don't think he'd be as bad as he is now.
If he had a mom, he would not be anywhere near this moment in time. Alicent and her failing as a mother is basically out there for the world to see, and it's definitely a very straight up assassination of her character because she never got to have a childhood either because of Otto. So the sins of the father continue to be brandied off onto the daughter, and everything has played out. Aegon is now bedridden, fighting for his life, and he remembers everything that happened with Aemon. But at the same time, what are you going to do about it? You're bedridden. You need the best care in basically Westeros. You can't leave. And now your city is besieged and beset upon, and your wife, Helena, is continuously the only person from Team Green who is needlessly suffering. She has done nothing wrong to anybody. She's not attacked someone. She's not verbally said something. She's not playing the game. She's just stuck being involved because she just wants to be a good mom and a good family woman. She wants to hang out with her bloodkin and be with everybody. But unfortunately, everyone around her is kind of a pain in the butt. And by kind of, I mean they just are.
They just
nothing else. There's nothing else to be said because like Alicent decides to be a mom for like 5 minutes. Helena almost just got jumped by the people again. This is the second time you've done an outing with Alicent. Stop going out with this woman. She is a problem. And the fact that she at least took her demotion from the council semi-gracefully was an actually good thing for her. Because she's like, I guess I'll be a mom now and try and step up as opposed to, just running off and doing something crazy. But again, as the fates would, they have conspired against her. And now all the moves of Rhaenyra have come to roost, and the people just don't care much for this leadership group anymore. They want to assert themselves, and they want to be fed. And because of the great spy master work that is going on for Team Black, Team Green is just ailing on several fronts. Well, Aemond, as smart as he is, doesn't know how to play this game because otherwise he wouldn't be calling someone who is like Larys a toad.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't go around insulting people who have a network of spies that can probably dethrone a king at any moment in time. You're just lucky you have Vhagar because you have the biggest dog in the fight. So you aren't exactly the easiest person to get to. And between you and your uncle, we're still debating who's the greatest swordsman in Westeros at this time. So it's a tough sell. It's a tough move. How do you feel? Because I know you said it's going to happen next episode. Genuinely, I feel like it will be the finale where we get that moment in time where they finally lock horns or at least butt heads. It seems soon based upon what I can remember of the book. But at the same time, if they finish the season with it, I think the fans would come away happy for the most part. It would be a win by default. It's like we lost the queen who never was the last time we got to see a dragon fight. I don't see people really still lamenting losing her, even though she was like one of the few characters that actually has done very little wrong this war.
She was one of my favorites. Yeah, I mean, there's 7 or 8 either way. Whenever they give us the battle, I think will be fantastic. In all honesty, I could see them also leaving it to start in 8 and then leaving it on a cliffhanger. Like they say their dragons clash, close to the ground or whatever, and they both fall off, and then they're about to go hand to hand, and then it cuts, and now you got to wait for the season opener of season 3 for that sparkle. Like, I could see something like that happening. Like, that would mess with people, but it would guarantee you watch time for the end of the season as well as the beginning of next season to go in and see what's going on. The show is already good. Like, it's great. Like, I'm loving it. But I also don't want them to drag it out like they did with Game of Thrones, to where it was, the last couple seasons were just not good at all. Like, they just fell flat.
Because the writers were trying to rush off and join the Star Wars projects because they were going to handle the sequels. But then Star Wars saw how they handled their exit from Game of Thrones and were like, yeah, no, we don't want that. And then Star Wars fans got what they got, and Game of Thrones got what they got. So nobody won. Fantastic times all around. Just gotta love that. Maybe Allison would be more empathetic to the fact her father's council didn't want Rhaenyra, but her experience of virtue? No. The council was more concerned about human anatomy than about the willingness and or ability to do the job, because Rhaenyra would have definitely kept the people fed, taken care of, and they would have been absolutely fine throughout. Allison should have known better that her experience was not wanted, it was not requested, and it was not needed. If she had done her job correctly or amicably, King's Landing would not be falling as it is currently. The succession would have gone smoothly. Like, she has had moments in time where it's like, Aemond, as much as he is a villain, is straight up factual. Be like, you are relieved of your duties. There is nothing you can do. You have done nothing to help the realm, and I've seen it firsthand. I don't want you around. Period. Because, like, the only thing she's necessarily doing is Cole and Laris. I wouldn't call that really the winner's list of picking your happiest moments in time or the real best men in Westeros. So she's had a tough life, and on a certain level, you can kind of empathize with her that she was thrown basically to men at an unreasonably young age. But also, now that you're a full-on woman, maybe you would do something to kind of push things forward. And have a great one, C-Rod. We will see you next week for the episode before the finale. Appreciate you coming out, as always, and hanging out with us, the Geek Variants. Allison genuinely thought the king's mind changed. She thought a lot of things. Was she correct on anything?
Yeah,
even once?
Even with her thinking that she's correct, so that again, he has said several times over that he wanted Rhaenyra to be the queen, and this one time, like, she didn't ask, she didn't get clarification, so that she just took what it was from somebody who was sick, not in their right mind, trying to, again, she just took it for what it was. She didn't look into anything else. So I still got fault with her for that. Because again, if she would have just mentioned it to Rhaenyra, like, this is what he said, and you say, oh, because again, her memory would have been better right then. Yeah, he said song Ice and Fire, or what he said these things. She could have, this is what the story is. This is what he was referring to. And then all this could have been avoided. Period. But she didn't. She wanted to go at, this is what was said with no context, and just cool, steam, straight ahead. This is what we're gonna do. And now it's caused problems. Now she got her arm cut. Now, her kids and grandchildren, everybody's getting taken out because, again, she didn't read the room.
She read the room that she wanted to read. She perceived things as she wanted to perceive them. And look, your dying husband, who you had bore several of his children, requested his daughter to see her and not you. You showed up because you wanted to comfort him at the end. And all he was talking about was not you, or I love you, or you've done a great job, or, all these great memories we have. He's talking about the prophecy of Aegon, the next one, so that the Song of Ice and Fire can come to fruition. If that's not a giant middle finger and should be a stern reminder of where her place really has been in this realm, she is an afterthought of everybody. Cole don't even want her anymore. Laris has other things to worry about where he doesn't care about her whatsoever. Her father is like, look, I don't even want to hear about what problems you got. I don't care. I'm going to play the role of Hand of the King. That's it. There's nothing else I'm going to do about anything. I don't want to deal with anything else involving you. Her dying husband did not request her. So I don't know what in her right mind made her believe that the council that strongly said, we don't want women in charge of us, was all of a sudden going to change their minds and acquiesce to the afterthought that is Alicent Hightower. I don't know how someone could spend 30, 40, maybe almost 50 years of their life and just straight up get ignored to this level and to this extent. And I think Alicent is just one of those characters that wasn't developed properly, but at the same time, her flaws are what makes her her. She's just somebody who is out there this way. I think Aegon has been fleshed out well. I think Aemon's been fleshed out well. Rhaenyra's been fleshed out well. We're understanding a lot of the intricacies that involve Daemon, but now we're seeing the true horrors of what he is, because they removed a lot of the darker stuff from season 1 of who Daemon truly is, because he's done some stuff that even HBO and how easy they are with their rating would still just be like, no, we're never putting
like
this
that
on screen.
Okay.
So Daemon is one of those individuals that has been fleshed out, but at the same time, you need to be concerned with how things are going to play out in public eye. And for all intents and purposes, like, yeah, Alicent has, continuously found plenty of problems to create. And again, let's just be real here. She's never been a mom other than the fact that she has given birth. She went through the trials and tribulations that a mother would, but the minute the kid came out, she's like, cool, anybody else but me, raise them. I'll check in every so often, like someone who's basically, hey, here's the nanny. I'm paying them to raise the kid. I'll see you later. I got stuff to do. And then whatever she did wasn't important, wasn't right, didn't help the kingdom. So it's like, maybe you should have, spent more time taking care of the family, and then maybe people would have listened to you. Aegon would have stayed home, and Aemon wouldn't had to have turned his brother into a glazed donut, so to speak. So it's like, if you just did one job right, Alicent, these events wouldn't be transpiring.
He baked that man.
And that was his flesh and blood, and he had zero hesitation. He just went for it. It's like,
oh, Alicent has another son. Yeah, I mean that's the young. And what was the name?
just hanging out over there.
Darren was the name. Right. So yeah, he was the one that was sent away.
And she's just now checking on them. How many years later?
Yeah. As far as developing the characters poorly, I think that they're picking and choosing. I think every character should get a bit of character development. Like, you don't have to have it front and center. You can have stuff pieces working in the background. I do think that some characters have not got some of the shine. Probably like Alan's getting a little bit of shine. Like, again, he's working in the background where he's getting some shine. It's cool. So Adam kind of coming out of nowhere, like they were both brothers, and that was mentioned, beforehand, but coming out of nowhere. But basically, he got that stop wishing for things that aren't going to happen, and then this episode, he pretty much gets a dragon. So
it just
like,
landed in his lap.
Cool, it's great stuff like that. But I don't know or care enough about the character to make that like super significant in terms of character development. It's super significant in terms of House Black and them building up their dragon riders and stuff. Completely, definitely advances that part of the story. But as far as the character, now I've got to get to know Adam more and be more invested in him to stick around, because he could just be a dragon rider, and he could just be there to fly a dragon and utilize, but get taken out next episode or something like that because he wasn't good enough. So I don't know.
Yeah. And Antonius just keeps just dropping gold here in chat. He has been on fire all day. Yep, the gold cloaks. We lost one of the small folk because, well, you cut the hand. You literally cut the hand that common sense would say, hey, don't do that. I understand it's the quickest and most efficient way of getting someone's hand off your queen, but like, was this entirely the right move of reading the room? No. Reading the room may be the true villain of Game of Thrones, that no one knows how to read it properly, and thus we're constantly thrown in the woes of chaos constantly. And it's like, and then Sir Stephen, I can't really fault him. I don't know how I personally would act if he told me, hey, Brent, go get up on a dragon. I think my first thought would be absolutely not. And then, like, if I was sworn to by oath to assume the position and try and make this work, I don't know if I would have fared much better.
No, I mean, I liked him that he was like, he was willing to do it. And he was like, yo, this is a great honor. So I'll run with it. So fantastic in that aspect. But again, he showed fear. He wasn't confident right in the beginning. And Sea Smoke was not my first choice. But it's the fact that Sea Smoke still had another rider beforehand. And Sea Smoke didn't like the rider didn't die like in combat stuff like that, and I need to choose a new one. Sea Smoke still has longing for the rider that left. So again, finding a suitable replacement that reminds that, which I'm thinking because it's all it's all in that similar bloodline or stuff, right? It's all in that same family. So someone in that bloodline makes the most sense to pair with that dragon at some point in time. So that makes sense. But if I would have used Steven, like I would have had him go towards another dragon, but I would have brought him around a dragon first. Like if you're
get comfortable, feel
you're
the room,
squeamish,
know about their business.
Yeah, you're squeamish right off rip. Like, yeah, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah, it's like at least bring him around Rhaenyra's dragon at the moment and see what you can do. Make of that. Obviously, don't be like, hey, here's Vermithor. Good luck, because we saw that Daemon attempted to woo Vermithor and even singing old High Valyrian to the dragon. Dragon wanted none of it, and that's why he's still hanging out on Caraxes. But again, Caraxes is a very battle-tested dragon who can handle the business that needs to be handled, and with that long, long neck, can definitely make certain positions in battle more amicable for Daemon otherwise. Because Caraxes is one of the few dragons that has seen battle, not obviously to the extent of Vermithor or Vhagar or Valyrian the Black Dread back in the day, but again, battle tested is better than what we had, what happening with Aegon taking an untested dragon who was too small to go try and hang out with Meleys and the queen who never was, and then you become the dragon that never survived a battle. Mm-hmm. So it's not really the ideal situation for most parties. I'm sure everybody would have had a different pick on things, but I think Steven did his darndest to make it work. It just was an unwinnable and untenable situation. Like, you honored your promise. You were a good man. You just weren't the right man for the job. And Sea Smoke has every right to choose who Sea Smoke wants. And Sea Smoke finding Adam made a lot of sense because Sea Smoke got straight up abandoned. That is something that no one really touched upon in season 1, is that he literally left his dragon behind so he could be in love and be happy with his partner, which, we want for everybody. But to leave a dragon behind in that day and age,
I'm not leaving my dog.
But you never would have never been able to live the life you wanted to with that dragon, because everyone will know who you are because you're a dragon rider. People gossip. Word gets around fast, as we saw with Rhaenyra's slap her around the council immediately. Didn't even take a day's time, and people were already like, "Oh, we saw what happened." You're like, you straight up open-handed him. It's like, gossip with a dragon would move even faster than that. What I am curious about is who Rhaena saw with that great big patch of burnt land and the burnt livestock. Makes you wonder which wild dragon or tame dragon could be out there causing that kind of damage for the small folk. in the veil, no less.
I feel like it's definitely dragons out there. I don't think it's a tamed dragon. I know they can kind of come and go as they please, run around. But you got who do you have out there? You got Sheep Stealer is one of the ones that's out there,
Sheep
and
Stealer is the one that's out there, and that was a sheep. That
that was a
was
sheep,
crispy.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of like I'm thinking the Sheep Stealer. Now, has she tried to woo Sheep Stealer?
I don't believe she has, but I don't think many people have. There are a couple wild dragons that people have not even bothered attempting to claim because of the history involving the dragon. It's just like, yeah, things not only didn't go well the first time, it went so poorly that even the Targaryens or the Valyrians are like, hey, I want nothing to do with this. I can't be bothered with this. This is going to end me as well. So it's like, better to just let, that dragon do what that dragon wants to do, and it'll be the people's problem because we can't get this brought properly to heal. Because it's like when we saw Daenerys in Game of Thrones for a while there, she was doing a terrible job of taming her dragons. But again, it's not like there was a handbook or a guide or people to figure this out. She just had to wing it. And those dragons, for the longest time, just did not respect her or care about her or her word. These dragons, a little bit bigger than Drogon and the rest of the bunch. So definitely going to be interesting. Although Drogon definitely not a slouch in the size department near the end there, but we saw how long it took for those dragons to reach maturity. So Rhaena hopefully will get at least some time to figure out how this baby dragon and the young one she's brought with her will be handled correctly, because we know that clutch of dragon eggs that's going off to Pentos will be the ones that go and become Daenerys's dragons, Drogon, the aforementioned. So got a lot of
The one
exciting
that's
stuff.
missing out of there, right? The blue one.
Yeah,
That
the blue one was the only one that was just not part of that triple clutch, so we don't know where that one heads off
what
to.
was the one that was walking around in the room with the kid?
Don't actually remember off the top of my head, and I don't believe it was any from that clutch. Otherwise, I believe it would have hatched sooner. But again, the one thing that I will say House of the Dragons hasn't really properly done is given us an illusion for time passage. So we don't know if this has been weeks or days or months. But at the same moment, we still understand that sometimes the passage of time isn't always like exactly planned out. Like even in certain films, like say Lord of the Rings, they don't explain how long people have been gone or how long they've been questing until you like reach certain markers of the film. We don't need like, hey, 3 days after this on like big bold print like Marvel did with Infinity War. Be like, hey, 6 years later, hey, blah blah blah. Here, it was important for those things, but if we did it for every single shot that we have establishing here in House of the Dragons, I think people get a little tired of it, because I know people are already tired a little bit of the slower pacing that has been done. But again, this show is earned the right to necessarily pace as they please. Will adjust to it accordingly.
Oh yeah, I always have subtitles on. I mean, I have some. I mean, that's just something I developed from watching anime. Subtitles are always on for everything that I watch, because even though I'm watching the screen, and if I miss something that's being said or something that's making sense, I can quickly read it in the same time span, so it doesn't go over my head. I don't have to stop, rewind, 4 or 5 times. It's like, what was said? What was that? And just read whatever it is and go on my own business. So subtitles are a must for me.
Especially with names that are
Hard to pronounce, or
the spelling is a little in doubt, and like Adam with 2 D's, I never would have guessed. So that's why I was like, hey, I always know you have subtitles on, so it kind of makes things a little bit easier to track and to follow. And it's like, I'm totally fine waiting out the pacing, but again, they're going to need a great payoff, because I know anytime fans start immediately grumbling that things can't necessarily be good, because we finished covering the boys last Wednesday night / Thursday. People are saying all the same thing, that the pacing was slow the whole season, but then the finale was phenomenal enough that people are happy with it. But it felt like the whole season was kind of you never felt like any of the characters were in jeopardy. And as this pacing is kind of dulling everybody down, everybody should feel like they're in absolute immense danger. But I'm not really sensing that right now. even though we're in the middle of an actual war. But that could just be me. I hope you guys are enjoying it a little bit more. I'm starting to feel like we need a little bit of a foot going slightly down on the accelerator. And as Will has said several times throughout this live stream, episode 7, historically, in Game of Thrones or House of the Dragons, we kind of put our foot forward. We're going to see what happens here. And then next season is expected to be 10 episodes. So the pacing will be interesting to see, but we haven't seen full confirmation that 10 is the number that we're going to stick with.
Me too. So, well, I mean, we got that sense of urgency at the end there with the queens having to get out of there. So at that moment in time, it's like, yeah, I feel like people were in danger. I knew that it wasn't going to be peasants that, for lack of a term, that took them out. So at that, but it created a sense of urgency as far as stuff is happening, so that we need to respond. We need to do something. So I think that as long as we kind of keep that up for the next 2 episodes, we should end on a strong note.
Yeah, as long as we end strong, I think everyone will be in a good spot. 3 seasons, they can finish it with 10 episodes, I believe, but a 4th season, I feel like would be the absolute max as far as things are concerned. But again, never say never when there's a certain amount of money being thrown around. Even The Boys had to deal with, that moment in time where it's like people are like, oh, we want a 6th season, we want a 7th season. Then the writer's like, hey, no. We scripted for 5. We're sticking to 5. We haven't heard full confirmation on what we've got with this show, but I know that we have Duncan the Tall around the corner, and then there's still the rumblings of getting Aegon the Conqueror and his quest around Westeros potentially being greenlit. There's nothing I can say definitively. So at that moment in time, we'll give you that information once we know. But right now, we don't know if there's going to be 3 seasons or 4 seasons. All we know is that there will, in fact, be a next season. So there's a lot of stuff to break down, a lot of stuff to really get more into. I feel like we've covered this episode in its entirety, unless someone in chat has something else pertaining to the episode they want to really cover. Then we'll kind of move on. Jon Snow series, from what I heard, was canceled, to my knowledge. And feel free and correct me, but they didn't have much of a script for it, and they didn't think things were going to really pan out because the fan desire was not there from jump. It wasn't like House of the Dragons where people were like, yep, we know what's happening. We're in on this. Duncan the Tall had more going for it than bringing back Jon Snow, which is bringing back an important character from the literal Game of Thrones that most people consider, like at least the first 3, maybe 4 seasons of the show, to be some of the best on television in history, period. To have a character from that still around and kicking, to have a spinoff done, and people were like, just because of the way Game of Thrones ended. The people never forget, and honestly, I'm 100% with them, because that whole last season was something else. Because literally, I would say probably after season 6, you can bow out and be like, call it good and write whatever ending you want.
Yeah. What makes you happy?
Yeah, you do whatever makes you happy. This is the internet. There's a lot of stuff to where I will say something, you don't always agree with it. Sometimes I don't even agree with Will. Sometimes I don't even agree with myself. But that's the day and age we live in. We love your opinions. We love talking about these things. We love having these open discussions. And Zuby, yeah, thanks for agreeing. I think the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones were impeccably done. It was one of the best things we've seen. Do anything to retcon or dethrone? Yes, I'm 100% a fan of that, because when I literally found out the ending, I literally yelled at my television, what the, and then insert words that I can't say on YouTube for any number of reasons. Luckily, it wasn't like a live stream at the time, because I would have got us taken completely off just due to language amongst other reactions of why in the world would this be the ending that you went with? It makes no sense. But again, George never denied that's what he wanted, and some people are speculating that's what he had always intended to have happen. So maybe that's the reason why Winds of Winter may never come out in our entire lifetime, that next book, so we can finally get some definitive answers. Because if those of you who are keeping track of the show along with the books, basically, I think it's season 6, wherever we left off with the Jon Snow cliffhanger is where we left off with the books. Everything after that, we're just kind of spitballing and rushing ahead and hoping for the best. So there's a lot of stuff to really break down there, because I know chapters have been released after that moment in time, but as far as a definitive book, once I see one of those, then you'll have more answers, because I have the books up there and I will continue to read through those once we get some kind of update pertaining to that, because I love reading fantasy. It's a great read each and every time. Always support the initial authors or initial release and the streaming services such as Max or Prime Video, whoever is producing that style of content. Because I know some certain countries, they get Prime Video as their way of watching, House of the Dragons, which I think is super cool. Yeah, he was improperly developed, and what they did develop of him, I could not have cared less, Zuby. I could not have cared less. He would not have made my top 10 or my top 15 characters around near the end, who I would have been like, this is my guy. This is the one I want to, have be proclaimed as the ruler of Westeros, because we all know how short that title always lasts, because we went through God knows how many kings and hands of the king during the time we just watched Game of Thrones, but that's why we loved it. No one was ever safe when you played the Game of Thrones. And now that we brought dragons into the equation, it seems to be a little slow. I'm hoping next episode will be a little bit more fantastic as far as pacing is concerned. I don't really have too much else to break down. Are we comfortable with where we left things off, Will, before we get into our episode recap?
Yeah, I'm pretty good on it. Yeah, Bran can go out another window. I'm good.
He wasn't pushed from high enough. That's a personal opinion on a thing down here. It by birthright, it should have been Gendry, and I would have been far happier with Gendry, even though what happened with the final season and Arya, that was entirely unnecessary and that was weird. That's all I'm going to say on that matter. I'm not going to elaborate any further, because Game of Thrones be one of those things that if you talk too in depth about it, goodbye to your channel. Once more, hit that lovely red subscribe button. Help us continue to grow our amazing channel. Little logo under Will or the red subscription box below. Remember, we have a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. We will have more details coming up about that shortly, as our thank you to you, the viewer, for gracing us with your subscription, because we know it's the internet. You can choose anybody. You chose us. You hung out with us. We appreciate y'all. And if you're on Twitch, hey, follow button's free as well. We will see you then. Will, any final thoughts before we hit this outro?
I'm solid.
We will see you in the next one.